guys, it's Britt and welcome back to my channel. Today we're making a really fun summer recipe. This is our strawberry pretzel salad. Now you might see salad and be like, what is this lady talking about? This looks like dessert. And yes, that is true. I didn't name this classic dish. It was invented around the 60s, and typically this recipe had Jello salad involved, so that's where they got the salad part of it. But I grew up having it at every summer picnic, cookout, graduation, anytime there was some kind of big family function. Generally in the summertime, we would always have this somewhere on the table. So this is a 3-layered dessert. Generally there's a pretzel crust, there is a cream cheese whipped second layer, and then there is a strawberry jello top. And it's generally served cold or room temperature, I would say, but it's a really awesome no-bake recipe. We've made it whole food plant-based and more on the healthy side, so that's really exciting. I'm going to whip it up, show you how to put it together. I'm actually making it for the 4th of July coming up, which is pretty awesome. You don't need your oven or anything like that. This is a no-bake recipe, so which is nice because it's getting pretty hot here in Pittsburgh, and this kitchen is kind of small, so anytime I turn in my oven, it's kind of a lot. So I love that this is a no-bake recipe. We're just going to freeze it for a couple hours, and it's going to be ready. So we're going to get started. All of the measurements are down below and on our website with a free printable PDF for you guys. So you guys can go and print this off so you have it at home. Again, I'm taking this to a really big family get-together. So generally when I make this is a dessert, so we have it occasionally. So if you're in weight loss mode, I always say fresh fruit is the best dessert. What I like about this specific recipe too is that you can keep this in the freezer and cut them into small bars and kind of portion out a serving. But I specifically like to bring this to a big family event, so I'm not, there's only 2 of us here, so I'm not tempted to eat more of the dessert than necessary. So if you're tempted, you can always keep it in the freezer and do that method, or make it for when you're going somewhere, or if you have a large family. But this is such a hit because it's just reminds you so much of the classic strawberry pretzel salad. So if you've had it before, make it exactly this way, and I promise you, you'll be very happy. So we're going to make the first layer, which is the crust. Now, you do need some sort of pretzel for the strawberry pretzel, salad. If you want to use a different crust, that'll be fine. Any raw crust, if you want to use nuts or something like that, it'll be great. I do suggest doing it this way, though, to make it reminiscent of the classic dish. So try to find a pretzel that is no oil, okay? And if you can find one that's no salt also, that's even better. I like to use Uncle Jerrys Pretzels. So I actually first heard about this pretzel from the Esselstyn Family. They posted about this sometime in the recent years. And Uncle Jerry's are a pretzel. They're made in Pennsylvania, and they are a low salt pretzel. And what I find with this, there's no oil and they're low salt, but all of kind of the salt pieces kind of fall to the bottom of the bag, and they're also pretty visible, so you can just brush off any of the salt that you can see. So I just take a moment and do that before I make it. I find these at Whole Foods. You also can find them online, but any pretzel that is no oil and preferably no salt will work. We're going to use these today. So you need 3 cups of pretzels, and we're going to add them to the food processor. So if they get all mushed up, that's totally fine. We're going to blend them all together. For our sweetener, and what's going to act as the glue for this, is going to be 8 pitted medjool dates. So if you have a different kind of date, you might need to play around with it, but 8 pitted medjool dates works perfect. And then I have 1 cup of an unsweetened, unflavored, non-dairy milk. And that's it for the crust. Now we're going to blend it until everything's well combined. You're going to put it into your pan. I'm using a silicone square pan, and we're going to press down the crust. You're going to see that it's a little bit of you know, it might be on the wetter side for a crust. It totally works out, so trust in the process. We're not going to bake it at all. It will firm up and be perfect for when we go to cut into it. So even when you're pressing it out, if it feels like it's a little bit on the wetter side, it'll be fine, I promise. So 1 cup goes in. All right, I'm going to blend this until it's smooth. We're going to add it to our dish, and then we're on to the next step. After it is all combined, you can just go ahead and dump this into your pan. Again, I'm just using a square silicone pan. You can line parchment paper, and then it'll be easy to pop it out as well. But we are going to stick this in the freezer once we have all 3 layers ready. And I just like to use my fingers just to kind of form our crust, and you just want to make sure you try to get it as even as possible. But I'm just going to go around until my crust is all spread out. After you have your crust all formed, we're going to add the second layer. So first layer is done, on to part 2. So in a high-speed blender, we're going to add some silken tofu, a container of 16 ounces. And again, make sure it says silken on there. It's usually those tofu that most people use for desserts or sauces. The whole container goes in. Alright, we're going to use 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. I have 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then we're going to add 5 large pitted medjool dates and half a cup of raw cashews. And remember, this makes for the entire amount, so even though we're using a little bit of cashews and some other things, remember it's for a large amount, just as a heads up. Alright, blend until it's nice and smooth, and this is going to be our cream layer to go on top of that pretzel crust. Once everything is blended nice and smooth, you can go ahead and add it on top of the pretzel crust. And then we just have 1 more layer to make. The last and final layer for our dessert is going to be the strawberry layer. So on the stove top, I'm using an induction top just so you guys can see, because the way my kitchen's set up, you guys wouldn't see me on my stove. So over on your stove, you want to get a pot and you want to add in your strawberries. Now you can add fresh or frozen strawberries. Around 12 ounces is what we're looking for. As we cook this top layer, the juices from the strawberries are going to be released. They're going to get nice and soft. That's what we're looking for. So I'm just going to use frozen strawberries. And then you can also use some additional strawberries if you want to even add a top layer after we make this. That's kind of nice sometimes. You also could add blueberries for a 4th of July kind of red, white, and blue theme. There's no rules. If you don't like strawberries, you can make this with any fruit that you like. This can be a raspberry layer, a mango layer, mixed berries, blackberries. You can make this dessert however you like. This is just traditionally, it's always a strawberry pretzel salad. So that's just why I'm using strawberries today, but you can definitely do whatever you want. We're also going to add in a little bit of lemon juice. This is 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of date paste. Now, I just whip up a batch of date paste and keep it in the freezer or in the refrigerator. And I have a video on this. I will link it up above. It's super easy. Make your own. It gets nice and thick. It's different than store-bought, so take a couple minutes and definitely just whip up a batch of your own. It's worth it. It freezes great, so anytime we have stuff left over, I just freeze it. So around 2 tablespoons of that. And again, that is nice and thick. That's what you're looking for. It all gets added. And then I have 2 tablespoons of chia seeds. Now, if you are somebody who doesn't like the whole chia seeds because you're worried them getting stuck in your teeth or anything like that, you can grind these to even a finer powder if you want, or you can use flax meal. Either one works. So, but I am using whole chia seeds for this. I like them. And then I'm gonna turn it on. Medium heat. You kind of want to be around for this part. Don't walk away. It's going to take a couple minutes. The juices from the strawberries are going to be released, and then you should see it all kind of come together and soften. As soon as your strawberries are really soft to kind of cut into, then you know it's done. You can remove it from the heat. So I'm just going to mix those chia seeds, the date paste, the lemon juice, kind of all together. But we're going to give it a couple minutes to take those frozen strawberries and give us some more liquid to work with. In the meantime, what you can do is I always like to, anytime I'm like baking anything with a silicone pan, or even if I'm freezing something, these are kind of wobbly. It holds its shape a little bit now, but what I want to do is I want to find a pan to kind of put this on top so I can just pick up the pan so it's not flimsy into my freezer. So if you have like a pizza pan, that works great, or a small baking dish, but something to kind of put your silicone pan on, so it just makes it transferring a lot easier. This guy is actually going to go in my basement freezer overnight, so it'll make my life a whole lot easy. Another thing too is that this recipe you can do the day before, freeze overnight, and it's perfect for the next day. Or if you have around 3 to 4 hours, that should be enough time to freeze everything completely. So that's just kind of key. Now you can put everything in here and put it in the refrigerator and not freeze it. It just won't be really firm when we're going to go to cut it. It would be still very, a little bit more together than how it is right now, but it would be definitely a softer dessert, which is totally fine. It still tastes amazing. Just if you're traveling with it somewhere, sometimes it's easier to freeze, cut into bars, and then put in the refrigerator. It's a really simple recipe. You can change up the fruit. Again, think about all the combinations you'd love. It's an awesome pretzel flavored with the cream and then the tartness of the fruit. And I just can't wait for you guys to make it. After you've cooked the strawberry mixture down, you can even go ahead and squash all of the strawberries so they're kind of really broken apart. And I like to do that and then again layer it with kind of slices of strawberry. I think that looks nice. But I want to let this cool completely before adding it to the mixture. So just take it off the stove, let it cool so that you can touch the pan, and then you can add it on top. Add your sliced strawberries. We are almost done. I will see you guys once this is cooled down, but this is going to look like a really sophisticated, very thorough dessert, but it's pretty easy in the long run. It doesn't take long to whip up together. So I really hope you guys are going to give this one a try. Alright, now that this is cooled down, we're going to add it on top, and I just found a bag of frozen strawberries and just chopped them up to add on top as a top layer. That's optional, and again, you can use frozen or fresh strawberries for either of these two. It works perfect. So I'm just going to evenly pour on that strawberry layer, and then I'm going to gently kind of just spread it all around. Last step is just to go ahead and top it. Again, if you want this to be 4th of July themed, add some blueberries. I think that would be really nice as well. Or you can even add blueberries after it's done, but I think that would be very festive because you'd have red, white, and blue. So I'm just going to go ahead and add some of those layers of strawberry chunks on top, and then we're going to pop this into the freezer. You want to freeze it until it's completely frozen. So around 4 hours should do it, but I'm just going to put mine in overnight, and I will see you guys in the morning when we go to cut this. So it's the next morning, and I just got out of the shower. I want to get this video up for you guys Friday morning before 4th of July. And so I just froze overnight. Take off it. It should pop out all as one beautiful section. Really easy. It looks so nice. Take lots of photos. What I like to do now is I like to cut these into bars with a sharp knife, and then I will keep them in a container in the refrigerator and let them thaw. I think these are best when they've been thawed a little bit. If you like really cold desserts, you can definitely eat this however you'd like, but that's our preference. So it's really easy to cut these into little bars when it's frozen. And you can make as many or as little pieces as you'd like. And then if you're struggling with desserts and weight loss, what you can do, I'm going to save this little bit for me to do a little taste test. What you can do is you can pop them back into the freezer once you cut them, and then just pull one at a time whenever you're in the mood for something sweet. I do that pretty often with a lot of our dessert recipes. Just make sure you cover it well and you are good to go. And depending on how many people you're serving, you can cut these as small or as big as you'd want. But they turn into these beautiful little strawberry pretzel bites or bars. They travel well. Like I said, you can let them thaw, you can serve them however you'd like. But I really hope you guys will try this. You literally can do this with any fruit, so it doesn't have to be strawberry. It's whatever you guys prefer. And I know this is going to be a hit with the whole family. So please make sure you subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, leave us a comment when you make these. I hope you guys enjoy them. It's simple, it's easy, it looks like you spent hours on it, and it's healthy. So I hope the whole family will enjoy it at your next family function, and have a wonderful 4th of July. I will see you guys very soon for the next one. I will post some pictures on the screen now of what these beautiful strawberry pretzel salads look like, or bars, or whatever you want to call them. Alright, I'll see you guys soon. Bye.